30th of May, 7:30. It's probably worth mentioning from here on in the next year anyway, we'll be holding the meetings on a Wednesday at 7:30 instead. Same place, same time, but Thursdays, Wednesdays going forward. Oh, okay, let's do the fire safety. So we're not planning on having any fire alarms this evening. If we do hear a fire alarm, then that would mean that we do need to exit the building. The fire exits are located obviously down the main stairs and by the metal staircase outside, and our fire evacuation meeting point is in the car park opposite the front hall. Yeah, so we're not expecting any fire drills this evening, so we can take a roll call once Wendy's ushered us all out, and we'll be safe over there. Okay, next point to the agenda in regards to the town council meetings and filming. So all town council meetings are filmed and recorded, and they're published on the town council website. And just to bring any participants notice to standing order 4.1.3, which gives us the full details in terms of what we can and can't do and what we should be doing in regards to that. Okie dokie. So we've only got one apology for absence this evening, and that's for Roger. But in terms of he's not he's here by virtue of being the chair, isn't he, rather than actually an attendee, but no Roger this evening. We have got Martin that's joined us to cover an agenda point later on. That's it. Everybody else? Oh, and we just had Nikki join us online as well, but we haven't got anybody else in the room. Nikki, we'll come to you as soon as we in the agenda point. Nice to meet you. Okay, next agenda point number 3 is declaration of councillors' interests and requests for dispensation. Does anybody have anything to declare?
No.
From myself either. And now item number 4, just to come on to a verbal update. So the first point, I'm actually going to hand over to our Vice Chair David. So this is the Lake Grounds Visitor Survey update.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, so the Lake Grounds Visitor Survey has been running for about 3 months now. Big thanks to Nikki for her management of the survey work. She's recruited some additional volunteers, surveyors from the Port of Lions and from other groups. So that's great news. We've done over 200 interviews when we last heard about interview count back in May. It's likely the survey will close before it's been running for a complete year, because North Somerset are planning on a tendering process for the new cafe at some time in the next couple of months. So it's important that we capture some of visitor numbers, but I think after then we'll have a pretty good idea of numbers and people's preferences.
Yeah, and enough. I know we're not going to get the full breadth of seasonality, but we have had high and low visitor numbers, weather, bank holidays, and all sorts related, haven't we? So
weather, close flooding. What we haven't had yet is snow.
Yeah.
I think but we've had cold and hot.
Yeah,
give you a fair sense of. We've actually also largely stopped surveying between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning, because that proved to be a fairly constant time. We're just seeing dog walkers and people are doing exercises around the Lake Grounds. It's the sort of lunchtime period and the early evening period, 5 to 7, where we're seeing real numbers, and they really fluctuate. You know, nice weather, bank holiday weekend, you can get there's accounts of I guess close to 400 people. Quality evening, 5 to 7 o'clock, you know, maybe 20 or 30 people. I've probably done more sessions than I have down there. Is that a fair summary?
Oh yes, fair summary, yes. But I have confessed I missed one tonight, as you know. So.
Yeah.
And I have apologised to Nikki. Oh, is that different, Nikki?
Yeah.
Thanks to Nikki. Nikki's been absolutely fantastic. And you've been down there too, haven't you?
Yeah. But we think that we are hitting all of the demographics that we need to. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that was 4.1. 4.2 is just an update on the waste bins and the litter bins that were actually picked up across the course of the last couple of months, actually, mainly due to issues with the bins themselves, health and safety wise, from our people that are emptying them. We do have a confirmation from North Somerset to say that they are now due to receive some of the replacements in early June. And we will be reinstalling some of the bins, certainly the one in St Peter's that picks up the footfall from Gordano, and a couple on the high street as well.
NatWest would be a
Yeah.
priority. Wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we've got 2 going back into the high street and the one at St Peter's. We're talking to them about Avon Way, and what we can get installed up there, or reinstalled up there as well. It's probably prudent to note that they are going to be making an audit of all of the bins in Portishead, just to see where we've got volumes being used and whether there's any more strategic sites that we not necessarily can have extra ones, but we can move the ones which are not necessarily being completely used. And so, yeah, we adjust where we've got those going. So, but at least we've got some progress, and we know that we've got some of the replacements imminent as well.
And it's probably worth noting that it's also one been taken out from the Esplanade Road, right at the start of Esplanade Road, at the bottom of Beach Road West, because it's managed by a different team. It's managed by Lake Grounds team rather than John Carson's team.
Yeah.
That hasn't appeared in the numbers.
Oh, well, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I think so. And they've suggested that it may not be necessary. So we've agreed to provide some photographic evidence that it will be necessary.
That's what we've done at the top of Avon Way, isn't it? And the evidence of litter picking and everything that we're having to do up there, because we haven't got one now, which is next door to the chippy up there. So yeah, but I think we can still collate and feed it back through the same method, can't we? So that's fine. Okay, so 4.3 is our update on questions asked by the public in the PRAM meeting on the 15th of May. So we have got a number of updates in that we can bring, but what we wanted to do was actually collate that into more regular updates, which we're doing as part of the public engagement piece. Unfortunately, I think probably, if I'm right to say that, during the course of between Monday and the general election, we're not actually allowed to hold any public meetings of any nature to provide any updates on services or anything of that nature. There is a proper term for it. Thank you. So we're going to be starting our actual engagement sessions probably from mid-July onwards. But if there's anything that we do need to be able to provide any updates on, we can do that through the website or the social media platforms in the main. But yeah, I think the one overriding question that we had, which we spent obviously quite a substantial amount of time on in the PRAM meeting, was the safety improvements in the marina, and you know where we can go with that as a town council in relation to North Somerset and the ownership and what is adopted and what's not. So we understand that there has been some health and safety improvements from a recent assessment from the insurers regarding railings which have been installed outside the lifeboat station, and also we have been preemptively notified that there will be some additional railings at the top by Bottolino's, just at the corner there. We've asked for the risk assessments to be shared with us from North Somerset, and we're awaiting those, because we need to understand really, I guess, where we are, what the risk assessment says, what it has given us, you know, and then we can obviously work with all of the parties to understand what options that we have got available to us, and whether that then means we go out to a consultation, or we do, something else. We just need to be able to understand what options that we've got, and to be able to make some progress. I don't know if, I guess I'll throw that open to all of the other councillors to mention. Sorry, David, go for it.
I just wondered whether initially, having had that feedback, very powerful feedback at the Pram meeting about the loss of life,
the
fact it's now been through due coronial process, whether we should at least write to North Somerset and say, look, as a town council, we have got concerns, we're going to look into this, but our citizens at a public meeting raised this as a big concern.
Yeah.
Certainly start that process of saying it's something the council is looking into, takes out.
Yeah.
So we could do that, or we could just wait until the due process.
Well, the due process, so the 2 reports which needed to be submitted have been submitted, but they've been, from a North Somerset point of view, it was being submitted as a solicitor's a solicitor's letter in that sense, and that's why we kind of need to get under the skin of that and understand from a risk assessment point of view what's been undertaken, what that assessment looks like, if it's covered the adopted, the whole of the adopted area from North Somerset, and actually what that prevention of deaths report actually looks like in conjunction with what Boat Folk have done, which covers part of the other side, which is not adopted and still belongs to a mix of the developers along there. So we need one place where we've got everything, and then we can. Sorry, Mike.
Right. I was just going to ask, the 2 sections of railings that you've mentioned, do we know who financed those?
They were financed from North Somerset. So they've recently, how recently, I don't know, they've recently adopted the section outside the lifeboat station, and their insurers visited the site on the basis that they've recently adopted it, and it's their risk assessment with the 6-foot fall onto rocks, in effect, with a low level wall, which has caused the requirement. At the other end of the marina, where that corner is being railed, it might not necessarily be obvious what that risk is. I don't know whether it's because it's the edge of the railings at the moment is a stop rather than a corner. It might be that. I just don't know.
There's traffic there.
It is, yeah. So although there's no drop, it's a gradient and there's no water. There might be other reasons why, why maybe it might be the fact that the railings have a stop there rather than actually going around the corner. I'm not sure, but as I said, we've asked for the copy of that risk assessment, and we can obviously, I guess at that point, recreate ourselves and go from there.
How will we take that forward as a group, you think?
I mean, from Pram, we agreed as a town council to take forward the issue. I guess from our perspective, it would be a working group as it usually is, but it's about that progress and making sure that we've actually it's not something that lingers, and it's something that we can drive on, isn't it?
My concern is just we don't hang around with this.
Yes.
She's been very starkly highlighted to us. It's involved loss of life. It's, to my view, having looked at it really carefully, a high risk area. And I think, so if the answer is don't right now, I kind of think we should be sending off a letter now and just saying this is of a concern. It was raised at Pram, but if we're going to do a working group, let's decide who the members of that should be, so we can just get into action quickly.
I think so. The meeting that Roger was meant to be attending the day after Pram, where he was going to actually table it, got cancelled. So he has emailed into the relevant officers in North Somerset, but from our perspective, that's somewhat irrelevant in the sense that we need to progress our own our own points, don't we?
Should we decide on the working group?
Yeah. Well, I'm in, yeah. Don't know if anybody else, but yeah, Janet and Mike, so yeah.
I'm doing on board on that. That'll be good.
I guess for your walking routes as well, in that sense, it's all
Absolutely. Yeah.
sort of tangent, isn't it, to
Very
just
so.
making sure that we've got a safe environment in terms of what we.
My sense is as a working group, I wouldn't want us to be hold endless lots of meetings. I think we just need to meet once,
yeah.
discuss the evidence we've had back,
Yep.
and act on it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what do people feel about writing a letter in the meantime, just flagging?
I
Yeah,
definitely think we should do a letter.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah, just at least we've got that in, and the ball is rolling from our side, isn't it? So yeah.
Just send around the working group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry to bang on the back.
No, it's yeah.
As you say, it's loss of life. It's probably one of the most important things we need to do.
So,
And very cheap to, or relatively cheap to install those preventive measures in the hotspot.
Indeed.
Right. You see, I wasn't at the meeting, I didn't hear it. So I look forward to see the minutes.
Yeah. No worries. And then on to 4.4, which is St Peter's Road weeding update. So we've got the day of weeding coming up on Saturday. David, I don't know if you want to update on that. I know we've got multiple now, haven't we? Sort of residents that are all
Had
ready.
about 20 people sign
Yeah.
up from St Peter's Road and the offshoot of St Peter's Road.
Yeah.
And interestingly, we were able to sign people up by door knocking, speaking to them about the initiative. The leaflets that were posted on people's doors didn't seem to yield anyone. It's just by going along and chatting to people.
Yeah.
Nikki's sent an email out to the volunteers, and I think had 3 or 4 agreed to join us. So the group on Saturday will be myself, Nikki, those volunteers, I think Mike too. So it's a reasonable number. It won't be as weedy as it was when we were there. Hopefully not as weedy as it was when we were there a few months back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm trying to corral second-hand tools as well, just to keep the cost down for that. So yeah, just
And
hopefully.
Nikki
we'll-
has been fantastic getting volunteers and
Yeah.
organising everybody.
No, excellent. So yeah, watch this space and hopefully you'll see no weeds. Okay, so public participation, agenda item number 5. We've got Martin and we've got Mike here attending as members of the public, but any updates? Anything that you guys,
No.
we've got your updates on the sculpture trail to come, haven't we? So
I've had a fantastic month, really. I've had a total of 59 people coming all together, 80% of whom have come from outside the town. So our leaflets are doing the business, I really have to tell you. I don't know how many we got left, but I've been handing them out like confetti. And they've gone to Bristol people. They've gone to, one lot's gone to the Bristol Meetup Club,
Yeah.
which I've never heard of, but they've taken a load and they're quite happy to promote our trail for us. So that's very good. I've sent two lots off to both Bristol Heritage Clubs. So, and they're really interested. And they want some presentations from me as well. There's another lot gone off to Clevedon Horticulture and Music Societies. They also want presentation.
Yeah.
I've had members from both of those on the walks who want to come back again. And the last walk we had was really great. They were really interested, all into it. And they were walking around with the leaflets and chatting all. And the best thing about it is they all disappeared into cafes and shops, still chatting about this. And I thought, that's what we want. Come and spend your money. So I was buzzing after this last week. They've really worked on this. It's really going well.
So we've got whether I can cover agenda item 7 as we are here, might as well sort of roll into it, Martin. We've got a recommendation here that we need to pass just for the additional folding of the leaflets, which obviously completely finishes them, which is absolutely, I mean, fine. We'll take a vote on that shortly. But do we need to be, if you are handing them out, how many have we got in stock? Do we need to be thinking about?
I think we only printed about 500.
500, yeah. I must have got rid of half of those, I would think. I came back again last Friday and took another load. I don't know the situation at the minute.
Should we see maybe when we're down to 100?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Lots of people are still asking, residents in particular, saying we pass these sculptures every day. We want some of your magnificent information so as we can understand what's going on. And I was asked if they were going to be put into shops and all that sort of thing, which I haven't done yet because I didn't. We didn't know how well they go.
No, but I mean they've been taken before, haven't they? So.
Fantastic. And people aren't throwing them in the bin. They're using them and coming back again. That's tremendous. Like, it's really going well.
You'll be taking royalties soon, might it?
How about something from the Bristol Art Museum, art
Good,
gallery,
yeah.
to be put in there?
Good
And
idea.
also, there in Waitrose, there's a leaflet thing. Well, it is run by somebody.
Is it?
Yeah, and I think the telephone number's on it. But what you could do is
I'll have a look.
ask if your leaflets could be included in these places in pubs and
Yeah,
and shops, and where all these leaflets are.
It's definitely the next stage, because I have been asked for that a lot over the last couple of weeks. You know, where can we get them from outside of coming here? So yeah, no, it has to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, just we might have to pay for the leaflet drop all over sort of these in these you know, you see outside Waitrose and they've got all these bands. We might have to pay for that, but it might be well worthwhile because
especially in tourism into the town.
Brings tourism in. If they are spending their money in the shops, surely that's worth paying for.
And if
We have to, yeah.
I know Parish Online might not be the right tool, but there might be other free to use tools which we can you know, we could digitalize.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
Tracy Fallon, has she got them yet?
No, she hasn't.
I
No.
was just looking at, so the Visit Your Portishead website hasn't got them on it just yet.
Right, Tracy
the
Fallon.
old Arts Trail map.
Yeah.
The one that we improved.
That's the other thing. People have used the website quite well, apparently. They've used the info on the back of our leaflets and they're using the website. I'm chuffed to bits, so it's really good.
It was an open goal, wasn't it really?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think going back, obviously, last year, me and Mike did highlight about using the bus stops as a point of reference for future advertising for the town. But I'm just wondering if it's worth me contacting Transpora with the new X10, because they have advertising boards inside the bus. I'm just wondering if it's worth asking them to see if they would like, because they seem to be very supportive of the town at the moment. Obviously, they had their open event in the vestry. I think it'd be really a good idea.
And if we've got people using the bus, for the maintenance of the bus as well, if that makes sense, isn't it? Yeah. All right, cool.
All in favour of that one.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, there used to be a tourist office at the near the watershed at Bristol that I've used with guests when they search. I wonder if it might be worth checking out with and there's also a tourist office up by the suspension bridge. There is, and there's one in Weston as well.
Okay. Right. So where were they again? One by the M shed.
One by the M shed, one by the suspension bridge, and there is one in Weston up on the seafront, I think.
Right.
No.
This is just a dream, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Beginning to work though.
Sorry?
It's beginning to work.
Yeah. Okay, so to just formally run through number 7. So it's to note that the cost of the printing for the sculpture tray leaflets has increased from £135 to £186. This is due to the increase in printing costs and the additional charges for the folding. And the recommendation is for us to note the increase in costs for the printer sculpture tray leaflets to £186. Do we need to vote? It's just a note, isn't it? So yeah,
This is reputational.
yeah, definitely.
I know how much that they cost. Yeah, the 186 is not a lot.
It's not a lot for that. No.
Yeah,
And
I'll
as
give you
said,
an
there's-
idea. An A1 poster will cost around £14–15 just to print.
So,
That's one-sided. So if you think what you're getting for £186,
yeah.
oh, it's good value for money. Absolutely.
Indeed. Okay, we'll just circle back very quickly to item number 6, which is the minutes of the previous meeting. So everybody had a chance to have a look through. I didn't have anything to. Maybe did.
I had one tiny change.
Yeah. Oh, which you've already mentioned. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, David.
Very pedantic.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, I shall find
Find
those.
later.
Yeah. Do we need a proposer? in it?
Second.
So, Janet as a proposer.
Second that one.
Can Martin second be? Yeah, fine, excellent. And then we are all in favour. Yep. Excellent, thank you. Sorry, Mike.
Just chasing up on the CM 163 on the Lake Grounds Esplanade safety surfacing. I understand that Wendy, you probably know more than I do, but I think that work is unlikely to go ahead because it's more trouble than it's worth. And I think putting the yellow safety line around the raised surface, which is regarded as a trip hazard, which is only about that high, I think, from the level of the Esplanade, is probably the better solution.
Yeah, we're also looking at a variety of trying to consolidate different works that we've got going on as well, just to find out whether there's any particular opportunity for cost saving in effect. So that's
site visit tomorrow morning, I believe.
yeah.
Yes, there is a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say that the blue thing outside Muse needs painting? You know, the sheet pen
where the tree
structures are.
yeah.
Yeah, it's looking a bit ropey now, so.
This is some very ropey.
Okay. We've got the record of the signing of the minutes. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. And Nikki, finally we can come on to you. So item number 8. So we've got a grant application through from North Somerset People First. Nikki, just checking that you're with us.
Sorry, I was doing other things and then I lost your window.
No, I can imagine.
apologise.
Sorry at all. Nikki, this is probably the first time a number of us have actually met you, even though electronically. Hello. Do you want to introduce yourself and North Somerset People First? Obviously, the meeting itself is recorded, so people do sort of view the recording back as well. So just to give an intro to yourself, if you don't mind. I don't want to sort of jump you into it because I can move on the grant page otherwise.
No, that's fine. I'm Nikki Williams. I'm the operations manager for People First. We are a charity for people with learning disabilities and autism, and we provide an advocacy service for those individuals so that they can live the lives that they want to live. We've been around for about 30 years in North Somerset. We started as a small group of people with a learning disability and couple of family members and a social worker. They used to meet in some weird little room in Partnership House. I don't know if any of you are old enough to know Partnership House, which was North Somerset Council's head office many, many years ago. We had an office there. As we grew, we used to do a lot of employment support at Partnership House. If you ever went there, you would have been greeted by some of our members because they did their work experience on the desk and they would do the teas and coffees for any meetings that were happening, and that would be across across the council, not just learning disability meetings. And as we've grown, we've provided more services. So we've done a range of things over the years. My first knowledge of People First myself was when I worked for the National Autistic Society, and I ended up on a lot of committees with my now chief exec, Michelle. So me and her have always worked closely together in various roles in North Somerset. So in 2014 we became a charity. Before that, we've kind of been umbrellaed by North Somerset Council. So we're now a registered charity. We now also cover Bristol and South Gloucestershire, as we have been tasked by the Integrated Care Board for the BNSSG to rebuild self-advocacy in Bristol and South Gloucestershire. We've been doing that for about a year and a half. We also have a youth service in North Somerset, which we've received funding for from the Henry, I've forgotten what his surname is now. It's supported by Social Finance, and that is funded so that we can deal with people when they're going through that transition time between 16 and 25. You may or may not know that SEND support is supposed to not end at 19 for school-age children. It's supposed to go to 25, but there's still a lot of people falling through the gaps through either being non-school attenders or any other sensory issues or anything else to do with school that they haven't been able to engage with. So that doesn't always, the whole idea of lengthening that to 25 was great, but that only works for people that are in education. If they're not outside of education for any reason, so we're still finding a gap of people that don't know their way around services and they don't know their rights for whatever reason that may be. In North Somerset, we run groups across the town, so we've got groups in Clevedon, Portishead, and Weston-super-Mare. In Portishead, we run one speaking up group once a month, but it's really not very well attended. We haven't had the capacity to increase that by any means. We haven't had the means financially because all our grants are very specific in how we must use them. And so that's great. And we develop services, but we don't have much longevity unless it's North Somerset. I mean, they allow us to continue some of our advocacy work within kind of the local area, but that doesn't stretch very far, as I'm sure you can be appreciative of. We also have groups in Clevedon. We also have walking groups and Friends Together groups, which we also do in Portishead. And those are very well attended. But those are more sort of middle-aged and up attendees, which is great. But they also don't necessarily, or they've been through the system so much they don't want their voice to be heard with councils or anything anymore. They've kind of been there, done that, particularly for people with autism, that once they've done it, they've done it. They don't want to revisit it. So we're trying to attract younger people, but not that 16 to 25, because obviously they should be in education training or something. But we want to kind of get that sweet spot between 25 and 35. We know that group is vulnerable. One example, not so young man in Portishead that we're working with at the moment, he has been sheltered his entire life by his family, which is wonderful. But now the family are gone and he has nothing. Those are the kind of people that we try to work with, because I mean, he has and he wouldn't mind me saying this, he just has no clue about how the world works. His family did everything. And I mean, literally everything. I know that's quite hard to comprehend, but it astounds me even every day I work with him, because we take so much for granted. And yet this family have done what they thought was right for their son. They've looked after him, they've protected him, they've kept him in a bubble, but now they're all gone. There's no one to keep the bubble going. So we're very keen to reach those people, and we feel the only way to do that which is one of the main reasons we applied for this grant, was to advertise within your community, because that we're not reaching enough people, and we know for a fact that there will be people in your community that have not been leaving that, and I'm sure you're aware of some that still are not confident after COVID. They don't want to engage with services, but if we were in people's face enough, if we were on somebody's doorstep, literally in something that they can look back on, or they pass something every day, it starts to chip away, and eventually they might come through the door. Everything that we do takes such a long time because we're breaking down barriers all the time to get to these people, for these people to get to us, for us to then battle our way through social care and housing and education and DWP. And these are all they're like mountain climbs for these individuals. And we really want to be able to do that better in Portishead. The people that come to our group, our walking group, and our Friends Together, that's people that are already receiving support. And that's why they come to our groups, because they're supported and they've got someone to deal with the minutiae of their life that could stress them out. So, and we know that advertising is key to what we do, but we don't always have the budget to be able to do it. So I know the bit that you've got on your agenda is about the room, and that was a big part of it as well. But our main drive was the advertising, because we know you have some Portishead only publications, and those are quite expensive to potentially get adverts into for obvious reasons. So yeah, so that's kind of my spiel, I guess. Any questions? I feel like I've talked for ages.
It's really good for us to hear that breadth of what you're doing, and also where the sticking points are in terms of the reach as well, because I guess there's things that we were potentially able to do that wouldn't necessarily be of a monetary cost, you know, through our council website and through our social media channels and all sorts of stuff, you know, those kind of things as well. Sorry, Janet, go on.
Nikki, you can't see me, but we have a signposter and referral person who meets at who is at the library on Tuesday afternoons, and she is also at the Beacon Hub all day Friday. And it might not be a bad idea for you to try and meet her on a Friday afternoon or something like that, because she's incredibly busy in the morning, and give her a chance to know about another group where she can refer people on. Because she gets people she very frequently gets people who are vulnerable with learning difficulties and autism who come and see her. And I didn't know about your group, and I don't think she knew about your group. So it would be lovely if you can try and meet her. She's there tomorrow afternoon, and then she has somewhere else she can refer people on to.
She's there every Friday and every in the library every Tuesday. Afternoon, Nikki. So. I guess, you know, when you're next available, or if somebody from the organisation is, then yeah, be more than happy to do
Just
that.
writing that down. I'm not ignoring you.
No,
And because I did clock that on your agenda, to be honest, and I was going to ask.
Yeah, but as I said, there's so many other
What
strands
so Tuesday? Did you say she's there? What time is she there on a Tuesday?
All afternoon at the library, I think from 2 till 5.
Okay. And then Friday will be a bit harder, just from a childcare perspective. But Tuesday in the library, yeah, no, I can do that. And her name is?
Claire Towell. Towell.
She's the referral signposter. I have to write things down, otherwise I will forget.
She is funded by Portishead Town Council, because we were very aware that there were people who needed help, who weren't getting the sort of help that they required, and to have a warm body rather than a telephone for some people.
Yes, that makes all the difference. It really does. People don't take much stock in it much these days, but from our perspective, most of our issues come through our friends groups, like from the people that are hard to reach, because people chat and they might mention something to us in being worried about that person or whatever. So we do a lot of word word by mouth brings us our issues to be challenged and to work with people.
Brilliant. So let's hope that helps you get to out
Yes.
to more people.
No, that would be great. Thank you.
So just back to the agenda point itself then. Although we've obviously sort of boiled this down, Nikki, as it says here, to support a contribution to the room hire fees and the degree of professional help which is referred to in terms of the advertising and what you need to go out for. So the recommendation that we've got here is to agree that grant of £750 to be awarded to North Somerset People First. Can we have a proposer? Yep. So Janet and a seconder. We've got David, and we're all in favour of that. Got Ina, that's all in favour. So the grant part itself, Nikki, does extend. I know it's somewhat dwindling, but it extends until next year. So please, you know, if there's any specifics or anything that you still need to talk to us about, you've obviously got a conduit into Nikki, you know, our town council Nikki as well. So yeah, but it'll be good, I guess, just to, you know, events or anything like that you've got going on, or
Yeah, no, I'll send it through. We'll get you on our mailing list.
Yeah,
and then you'll get everything.
Janet.
The other thing is, is it possible for you to come back to us at the end of that and let us know how it went?
Yes, of course. Just send me the date and I'll be there.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Nikki. Please don't feel obliged to stay with us if you need to go off. I'm sure you're.
I won't. I have a child to get to sleep, so I'll go and do that.
Yeah, please, no worries. But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, that was good.
It's so heartening, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can actually do something like that.
Yeah. Okay, agenda item number 9. That's the wellbeing coordinator update. Again, it was with the pack. Sorry, David. We did. Yeah. You were there. I think we got you voted and everything. Yeah, sorry. The wellbeing coordinator update. I've read through. Has anybody got any commentary or anything that we need to add? Any questions?
Not in this meeting.
No. Okie dokie. So that's just us to note. So nothing formal needs to happen there. And obviously Claire's update in terms of the signposting and referral services as well.
Yes, 49 people.
49. Yeah.
And last Friday was not very busy because it never is very busy
Before the bank
before
holiday.
bank holidays.
Yeah. But no, that's
I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it. Just going back to the previous report, is that okay?
yeah.
There was just something about the Knife Angel outreach, and they're saying that the event had been cancelled because of poor weather. And Laura actually asked, there was a question about the £1,500 given by town council.
And we haven't had any updates from the Knife Angel crew, so we will be pursuing that.
Yeah, I think though, to be fair, the money wasn't necessarily to fund them coming to Portishead. The money was to fund.
I just hope that they're going to we can re-engage with
yeah. And I think there was also some commentary around there actually not being necessarily any weather on that Saturday when it was planned, and that's absolutely correct. But the state that the weather during the previous week had left the football pitches in meant that there was going to be absolutely no way the footfall that was expected could have been handled by, you know, and it completely churned up the pitches in that sense. But so I think it's probably worth mentioning that as well, really, I guess. So
and as it's in there, just the mention of the play park.
Yeah.
I am following that up with the play park people and Laura, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's play park in terms of the initiative of
North Somerset Council.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
play park is in a turn.
Play Park is a term.
Yeah,
It's where
no.
there's an hour and a half or once a week in a public open space where volunteers work with children. And I think it's all bona fide and people are checked.
Yeah.
But I need to find more out about it and
Yeah.
I will do
Yeah,
that. I've
I
asked to
think-
go and visit one.
I did.
and
There's
see.
been a couple of posts on social media looking for volunteers, and at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah.
there's not a great deal of uptake.
There are
Um,
two
so-
volunteers.
Yeah.
And I think that's across the board. I think I've mentioned it several times at council meetings. You know, the point that volunteers are becoming less and less
Yeah.
within the town. And I think it's partly an age thing. You've got a lot of older people that have been volunteering for years and years. They're declining, and there's different generations got different views, and I don't think that's coming across anymore. You know, that part of to be part of a volunteer group and sport. You know, we have the same with the Putney 100 team. We have a massive following, but we only have a small amount of
People
volunteers that
actually coming out.
that regularly turn up, and you know they all tend to be in their 40s. So, and I think that's a worry for any town. I think is how do you bring more volunteers into.
It's that re-engagement
yeah.
cycle, isn't it? If,
It's a big struggle.
yeah, but sorry,
Sorry,
Jane.
sorry.
No, go for it.
I think it's also partly to do with the raising of the retirement age. People at 60, women of 60 used to do quite a lot of the volunteering stuff. And of course, because now they can't retire till
Yeah, that's a good point.
66. And a lot of the issues with childcare, of course, are caused by the
And
fact that
you
women
see it all the time down the lake grounds, don't you? You know,
But you know, you do wonder whether once we've got the engagement cycle, and you know whatever we're doing on a monthly or bi-monthly, just that it becomes possibly slightly more cyclical at that point, isn't it? So if as a council we're engaging with more residents and they're aware of more projects, and that reach goes out, so we're kind of starting from a low point, but at the same time, you know,
And I'd hope, you know, being positive, if somewhere on a Saturday morning that you can go with your children and it's free and they can run around and have good fun, you know, we just might be able to find volunteers
right, yeah.
who it'd be great to have the kids outside
very much so.
doing stuff on a
Yeah.
Saturday morning. So, because
Yeah.
children don't play outside
Yeah.
on their own enough.
that's very true. Very true.
Emma,
Yes.
just ask something. Maybe, I don't know if I'm now a member of the groups about engagement, but I was wondering, and this is just a Sky thing, a Sky thing, that maybe we could do a Portishead Town Council in the precinct on a Saturday morning.
We've already talked
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, this is all part of it, but
Mm.
as to what we can discuss at the moment or not. But
we
yes,
can
it is.
discuss
That's
it as a group.
that's the ironic thing
Discuss
about
it
it.
as a group
Yeah,
to
we can.
start after July,
Yeah,
and I'm happy to be part of that group to talk.
yeah.
Or
I
even
think-
take part in.
Yeah, I think there's going to be I think as a group there'll be a lot of preparation, I think, between
Yeah.
now and
then we
the
can-
period of Praza that we can't obviously
Being a-
discuss.
being
here.
Yeah, a point of launch, really, I guess,
Yeah.
in July from what we can do. So,
But I'm happy to help with that,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Jack.
because it's what I like doing best.
Okay, that fetches us to our last agenda point, number 11. That's the date of next meeting. So, as I mentioned earlier, that's when. Sorry, Dave.
I just wondered for the recording whether we ought to know where we are with the parking consultation.
Of course, yeah. Sorry.
It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, no, go for it. Sorry, we're going to do it in part the chairman's update, weren't we? Sorry.
Of course, we all know where we are, just for the record.
Yes.
Say that Tim Sladen handed over a petition of over 4,500 signatures to Hannah Young about 3 weeks ago now. It's great to see that sense of local concern. Our response went in by the closing date as well, and following the last full town council meeting, we agreed to write a letter to the chief exec of North Somerset Council, which we all contributed to, and Wendy sent that off on Tuesday, and that's going to be up online next week when Amy is back from leave.
Yeah.
So
And that's our rounded response alongside our own consultation response and alongside the petition as well. So it's a bit of a three-pronged attack, isn't it? Really. Yeah. Thank you, David. Sorry. Okay, so agenda item number 11, dated next meeting. As I said earlier, Wednesday, 26th of June at 7:30. That's it. Thank you. Fetch the meeting to a close at 2021.